everyone, it's Sharonda from Pay Your Weight, and today I'm going to be reviewing Run the World Episode 1. This series currently airs on Starz, and I'm so sorry that I'm late getting this review out. I totally forgot that for Starz shows, if you have the Starz app, you get access at midnight, so I promise my reviews will come at midnight, basically, or at 12:30 when the show will technically air for the first time. But let's get into the episode. So, I thought I was the only one who did drink up to it, drink down to it. I tried to do that when I moved to the South, and people was looking at me like, sis, who does that? And I was just like, yeah, I don't know about that. So I felt very, I felt satisfied. I felt like how I decided to do shots, like I was confirmed in how I have been doing this right all of my life. But I was like, Ella, sis, you getting drunk like this the day before you start your first day at your job? I mean, it's clear that you have no intention on really wanting to work there. Since we find out a little bit about she had a failed book project that didn't go too well with the audience. And I thought it was interesting if she brought up cooking naked. Because I was just like, sis, like everybody does that. It's probably not smart if you're frying stuff, if you're doing anything with oil. That's not the smartest thing to do. But I do remember like this being a hot topic on social media when someone said like, hey, women should cook naked for their man. I was just like, people don't really do it like that. It's just people's personal preference. If they don't feel like putting on clothes, that's just going to smell like food. So I felt where Ella was coming from. It's just, you know what, Ella, you were ahead of the times, okay? So we see that she's having this conversation with Renee, who wakes her up to make sure that she doesn't miss her first day of work. But I was dying laughing at the white woman who bumped into her at the bodega and who literally like had no sense of who she was. I like how they mentioned like how black women are invisible, especially white women. But when she tried to take her bacon sandwich, her breakfast sandwich that she stood in line for, rightfully so, and tried to snatch it, she's like, oh, I'm sorry. When she like swapped her hand away and she's like, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. And she started quoting Phenomenal Woman to her. I said, now, ma'am, stop it. I did laugh for a moment, but I felt that. They do it all the time. Bump into you, I'll be like, excuse you, okay? You saw me, you felt that bump. Shoot, get on my nerves. Okay, but I felt Ella when she was talking about, dang, like, why do I have to go the route of like trying to have a respectable career when I can be on the peen of a rich man? I said, Ella, I wake up every morning before I go to work. I'd be like, dang, why couldn't I have just found me a rich man? Just why am I living this life day after day after day? I felt that, okay? I felt that in my spirit. But we see that she ends up going to meet with her boss, who's played by Erica Alexander, Barb, and essentially she's working for this music, I'm assuming it's like a music website, and essentially she gets her first assignment where she has to go and actually have a conversation with Soulja Boy. And when she started doing the Soulja Boy tell him, when Erica or her character Barb was doing it, I was dying laughing the entire time because I was just like, that song was so catchy. It took me right back to college as soon as they said Soulja Boy. But I was like, I did feel her like, hey, he made the whole Superman on that hoe. I was just like, nah, why did I listen to that back in the day? But hey, Soulja Boy like had catchy music at the time. Look, I have to give props to where props is due. But when she was talking about how she blames Matt Lauer for basically having to have the open office spaces, how everything is open, there's no doors, there's no curtains, there's no privacy. I was like, why do we work so hard to get to the office just for everybody to see what we doing? I don't understand it. But we see that we're introduced to all of the characters, Ella, Sandy, Whitney, and Renee. And so Renee made me feel like, girls, seeing you work out on that Peloton, I was like, dang, I should probably go use my Peloton as well. I don't know what's happening, but someday I'm going to start working out. Actually, you know what? Because of Run the World, I'm going to go work out on my Peloton tomorrow morning. You have my word, okay? So I do want to say that watching Sandy and Matthew get it on, I felt that. I felt that. But when he was telling her to be quiet because of the kid, I'm like, who you shushing? Then you gonna try to start making noises. She gotta shush you. I was like, okay. I'm just letting y'all know, like, y'all kids know exactly what you're doing. Like, the kids can hear through walls. I don't know why parents don't believe that that's true. But I tell you, if you ask a couple of kids, they have had a lot of trauma in their lives after realizing how they got there, that their parents are still doing that after they're here in this world. But I do want to give a shout out to the waitress, Charisse, because while they're taking their shots, I was like, Charisse, the titties was sitting, and I was looking respectfully. Because I didn't know where else to look but at Charisse's chest. And when Renee like basically laid her head on her chest, I just died laughing because people really do be doing that. Don't ask me how I know. I'm just saying it happens. But I do want to talk about Sandy and Matthew first, and I'm gonna save Ella for last just because she had a huge meat of the episode. But for Sandy, so basically Amari is Matthew's child, and so we find out that she's been in the baby's life since she was 4. She's now 6. So they've been a part of this relationship that we know of for at least 2 years. However, we find out later in the episode that Matthew is actually her thesis professor, and so basically they're in a romantic relationship that can literally end both of their careers if the school were to find out what was happening. And so we see that she gives Amari these like ballet shoes that she made for herself. She was like, I want you to have shoes that actually match the complexion of your skin tone, which I was like, okay, I see you, Sandy, trying to instill in her that her skin is beautiful the way that it is. But we see that she ends up going to the school to pick Amari up from class, and essentially the teacher basically tells her like, oh, finally you're here with the payment. Like normally we don't allow people to pay late, but we just love Amari so much. And just to let you know, there's a scholarship for underprivileged children. I was just like, wow, like maybe they just could have been late because they was late. Like, why did you just automatically assume that they couldn't afford the ballet class? But then when she gave the nutritional plan, I was just like, the girl is 6. And then for you to say because of her ethnic background, sis, we were meant to have curves, okay? You can have curves and still do what you need to do in a ballet class. I just didn't understand why she felt like this was okay. But obviously it hit a nerve with Sandy. Took the check back. She was like, she is not coming back to the school. However, this causes a rift between her and Matthew, essentially because Matthew just feels like she's 6, like she's not thinking about these things. And when he said like everything doesn't have to be a protest, I was like, okay, Matthew, you bringing up some good points, until he decided to say, Amari's my daughter. I just wish you would just grow up. And I said, sir, pause, wait a minute, time out. She's your daughter now? Because she wasn't your daughter when you made sure that I was there to pick her up from ballet class. And also, too, to make sure that she got to school so you can go do your job, your work, peacefully, okay? Not a worry in your mind because you know that Sandy's going to take care of your daughter. But also, too, she's raising someone else's child. I need to know what happened with the mama. Is the mama gone? Did she pass away? Did they break? I don't know what's happening. But I just feel like for you to throw out that she's not being mature because she's sitting up here like rocking for your daughter to make sure that she has the best experience, and for you to like basically just null and void all of the stuff she has done to take care of someone else's child, because I didn't see a ring on her finger, so you're not married. So I was just really confused about that whole back and forth right there. I was on your side, Matthew, until you just brought all this other foolishness back into it. I was highly confused about it, but it did do something to me to see them when she went to go see him speak about one of his papers, and to see the intellectual debate back and forth. I was just like, ooh, this is giving me a little tingle on the inside. It was doing something to me. I was like, this is why people love sapiosexuals. Like this is why people are sapiosexual. They in love with the mind. I was totally here for that whole exchange. At that moment, I got it. I was like, dang, maybe I need to be sapiosexual as well, because that did something for my spirit. But I do have a question. How does Sandy afford this big ass apartment that she's living in New York with by being a teacher? Because I didn't see her going to work or doing anything else but picking up Amari and debating with Matthew back and forth and having drinks with her friends. So I was just kind of confused. Maybe we'll get a little bit more backstory, but I'm just trying to figure out how Sandy basically affords the place that she's living in. I need a little bit more answers because it's not adding up for me. But I do want to talk a little bit about Whitney, okay? Because Whitney is planning this wedding, so she's engaged, and so I'm assuming that her fiance is Nigerian, because she started talking about headpieces. She started talking about how all of his aunties are coming in town, and so just by all of the descriptions that she was giving about the wedding, I was like, he has to be Nigerian. Totally here for Nigerian weddings. If you've never been to one, it's lit. It stays lit. Okay, but We see that she's just very stressed out. But I will not tolerate the hate that she had on Branzino. Branzino is actually really good. I don't know what she's talking about. Now, she's right. It is a cheaper version of Chilean sea bass, but I feel like I get more bang for my buck when I eat the Branzino. So if you guys haven't tried Branzino yet, don't listen to Whitney. Whitney don't know what she's talking about. Branzino is actually good, and I really feel as though that you all need to give it a chance. If you had not experienced it, you're going to be in for a treat. But we see that while she's at the club with Ella, she basically runs into this guy by the name of Chris, who is the community peen, because all of their friends have basically had sex with him, but they said the peen was good. So I was just like, okay, I mean, if the peen is good, then what are you trying to stop her for? But I was like, wait a minute, she engaged to be married, like she's about to be married soon, so then this would be cheating. But as soon as he started buying her the champagne, which I think champagne is absolutely disgusting, that's a story for a different day, I was just like, sis, you in trouble, because I could tell you're not fully satisfied or happy or fulfilled right now, and you're stressed out. It ain't nothing like being stressed out and getting some good peen to de-stress you. Now, if my parents are watching, that's just what my friends told me. I don't know what that means, because I'm sitting up here being celibate, abstinent, whatever you call it, but I ain't out here having sex. I just saying that if my parents are watching. But yeah, I would think that if you're stressed, then yes, you would want to have some good peen to ease your worries, to ease your cares, okay? But we see that she ends up sleeping with Chris, okay? She took the good peen, she slept with Chris. I could tell by how Chris was walking that he had good peen. You know how you just walking free? He just sitting up here walking free. I don't know what that would be like, because I've never been in a situation because I'm not having sex. But I'm just saying, from the walk that he had, and he was like, what's good? I was just like, I'm pretty sure it was good, because she was still laying there. She didn't even try to get up, put her clothes on, go back home to her fiance. If they live together or not, I don't know. But I'm just saying, she stayed there, so she's probably going to go for around 2 in the morning, because that's what I would do, you know, if I was out here getting a little boom boom in a room. But I want to give a shout out, okay, because I was concerned at first. We saw nudity from Ella throughout the episode, and you know how I feel as though I'm an equal opportunity nude person in TV and television, okay? And when I saw that Chris was showing his peen loud and proud, I said, you know what? You know what? A++, okay? Because you're showing the peen and the tits at the same time, and I was here for every single moment of it. But we got to talk about Ella, because Ella, she goes to this party. She convinces Whitney and Renee to go with her, and she's trying to get this interview with Soulja Boy, and so she can write her article for the website. And so essentially, she ends up going to the VIP, and they're basically not letting her in, saying that he's not talking to press. And she runs into the guy by the name of Brian, who they seem, I guess they used to be colleagues. I don't necessarily know the backstory. But when the guy came back and said, hey, Mr. Soulja Boy, tell him. And Renee was like, huh? Because I was like, huh? That's how you, what? When she said it a couple of times, I was dying laughing, because I was like, Renee, exactly. Like, you a grown man saying, Mr. Soulja Boy, tell him. I said, you know what? You get your coin. I'm sure he paying you a lot of money. But that was absolutely ridiculous. But when he told them that you're too mature to get into the section because you don't look like basically groupie whores, I was like, wow. I mean, at least he was honest. I mean, technically it's a comment, but I felt like they looked beautiful. I thought they would have been fine. Why do you necessarily want groupies? But if you live in Atlanta like I do, you know that this is an everyday battle. But she ends up going to use the bathroom, where she runs into this fine specimen of a man, okay? His name is Anderson, okay? So I'm thinking like, ooh, she was like, Anderson? And I was like, yes, Anderson, let me see more of your face, okay? Let me just see more. But it didn't seem like she was happy to see him, because she's like, what are you doing back in the country? Like, what is happening right now? And I was like, ooh, there is a past between them. But when Renee came and called him Satan, I was like, wow, when you call somebody Satan, like that's serious, okay? That's real serious. And then she said, he's at the top of the effing worst. I was like, wow, I need to know this backstory between them. But when he says, baby, I missed you, I got a little weak in my knees, okay? I kind of like fell out. I almost lost grip, like he was talking to me, saying to him, I was like, baby, you miss me? I miss you too. I don't know who you are, but I miss you. And then when he kissed her, did y'all see that kiss? Y'all saw that kiss. I I got a little hot and bothered when I saw that kiss. I said, Lord, I've been in this quarantine a little bit too long. Because looking at that kiss, baby, I said, whatever he did, it can't be that bad. It cannot be that bad. You might as well just go ahead and go home with him and just have a happy ending to your night, okay? After that kiss. And so basically, she walks away upset, and I'm upset because I was just like, so you just not gonna take that fine specimen of a man home with you? And then she takes Brian Raggedy behind home with her? This man don't even have a bed frame. He doesn't have a bed frame. How old are we and y'all sleeping with people that don't have bed frames? That's a problem. That's not okay. But on top of that, he couldn't even keep his peen hard. You couldn't even finish. You couldn't get yours. I said, ma'am, now if you knew then what you know now, would you have taken Anderson home? Because I would have took him home before I even knew then what I knew now. But you know, obviously you guys have some bad blood, some bad history amongst one another. But I was just highly confused about it. But at the end of the day, she goes to Ella's, Sandy's place, and at least she gets her article finished and it's trending #1. So I guess there was some type of happiness. I just, Lord, can you bless me with a man like Anderson to come into my life? Because I see what you are doing for other people, and I need you to move and work and give me your bountiful blessings in my life, okay? In Jesus' name, amen. I'm sorry, I just had to take a moment and manifest for a moment because I know that the Lord can work it out for me. Woo! Okay. But I did feel Sandy when she was talking to her and just talking about, when Ella was like, that's my big. I said, I'm sorry, I didn't see Anderson look like he had like money and stuff. So I'm just kind of confused. And also too, like even Sandy was confused by that as well. She was just like, you know, it's just, we don't want no poor, unfortunate, broke peen. And I felt that. I really felt that in my spirit. But I just hope that the Lord blesses us with more scenes of Anderson. Maybe if they want to give I'm gonna stop because I said I'm not gonna objectify people. It's just been a long time since the Lord has blessed me with somebody. Whew, okay. This episode, all right. So the episode overall, I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I want to know more, okay? I need to know everyone's boo things. What are the backstories? What is happening between Ella and Anderson that she would give up that beautiful blessing that the Lord placed before her to go and have a happy ending at home? I don't know what's happening, but also too, shout out to the taxi driver who said, hey, I'm here for y'all, getting y'all happy endings, but you're not finna do it in my car, okay? Because I was like, how old are we? Y'all couldn't wait till y'all got home. I was just kind of confused by that. But hey, to each his own. But yeah, so far, so good. I want to see more, but I'm going to keep giving Run the World a chance. But those are pretty much my thoughts on episode 1 of Run the World. As always, my name is Sharonda from Para Waits, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit the notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. And until I see you again, bye.